So again, this is going to be our Summer with GenAI using Amazon Q and QuickSight session. We're going to talk about just a brief overview of what exactly is Amazon Q and QuickSight, go into different learning materials that we offer to upskill on GenAI and QuickSight, and then I'm going to show a special demo that is accessible for everybody to use inside our DemoCentral platform. Okay, so again, that is the agenda. We'll go over the capabilities. I'll give you a walkthrough, and then we'll do some learning resources, and I'll end in a live Q&A. Okay, so for Amazon Q and QuickSight capabilities, these are all powered through Amazon Bedrock. We offer different capabilities depending on your persona. So there's for authors, AI-powered dashboard authoring experience. And then for business users, we have AI-assisted data storytelling through data stories, on-demand AI answers to Q&A from your data. And then you can also build custom apps with AI and then get all of your insights within QuickSight using Amazon Q. So I'll dive a little bit deeper into each one. Some of you, this might be a review, and then some, this might be new material. All right, and then lastly, we just launched this at reInvent last year, is scenario analysis, which we've been demoing a few before. If you want to find those demos, I can show you how to do that in our Amazon Q Corner community as well. But then again, there will be another slide that goes into depth on that. Okay, so first off is our AI storytelling. So you can see here on the GIF that's playing that you can type in natural language from any dashboard that you have, a prompt of what you want your story to be about. So say something like, we want to write a sales pitch on how we're going to expand our regional sales in EMEA or something like that. And then you can generate that through the data stories, and Amazon Q will in the back end give you a story that's related to both the context of your prompt and also the insights found in your visuals. So it'll pull out relevant visuals and put them into your story and give data points that support your story's purpose. And you can see that here. And so when you're in a story, you can also edit it, which you can see here in this GIF, by doing simple formatting, and then you can also use Amazon Q to change the formatting of your text to make it longer, shorter, or bullet points to change how your story is told. Okay, and then another newer feature that we have, this also launched at reInvent last year in November, is insights from unstructured data. So before last year at reInvent, we supported just structured data insights through Amazon Q, but then with that launch, we also support unstructured data through things like documents, PowerPoints, and PDFs, and you're able to upload that through Amazon Q Business. So when you ask questions with data Q&A after you've uploaded your unstructured data, not only will the answer be provided from your visuals on your dashboard, but also any unstructured insights it finds in the documents that you've uploaded. And again, if you have any questions about this, please ask in our chat and I will answer them at the end of this session. So you can see here, it answers about your business. So the Q&A will surface things from your business documents relating to the answers that your questions have. And then you'll just add relevant documents to your QuickSight dashboard. And then the newest thing that we also launched in reInvent last year is Scenarios capability of Amazon Q. So this is our agentic AI that gives you a complex, detailed analysis of any prompt that you give it. So you'll see this GIF run through here. But what we like to say is that it's a better way to analyze your data so you can discover insights through step-by-step interactions with Amazon Q. And it'll give you guidance, and at the end, it'll give you a set of recommendations based on the insights that it's found. It also helps you perform in-depth analysis, so it'll create calculations and data tables on the fly while it produces the step-by-step analysis with your question. And it allows you to explore new possibilities that you might not have found before if you weren't using this. So in our previous demos that we've run, we've gone through different industries, and at the end, it gives recommendations that we might not necessarily have thought of if not using scenarios, which is really cool. And I highly recommend checking out those demos. All right. Okay, so then this next part is what I'm going to demo later towards the end of this session. And this is part of our learning resources. Again, all of these resources are available on our QuickSight community. So I've set the link in the chat, but I will also show it on my screen in just a second. And what we've done recently is one of our solution architects has updated our DemoCentral. So if you don't already know, DemoCentral is an interactive dashboard environment that you can use for an hour. And it'll allow you to explore different dashboards and then also look into the analysis of how that dashboard was built. So if you want to see how different visuals are made or customizations are set, you can do so through DemoCentral in this 1-hour environment. And then recently we just launched how you can get interactive with Amazon Q. So there's 2 ways you can do so in DemoCentral. You can explore the authoring capabilities, which we'll see, and then you can also explore data Q&A. Okay, so first off, I will go ahead and show you just a brief overview of what DemoCentral is. Not everyone might know what this is, but I also show you how to access it. So if you're in our QuickSight community, you'll see this top tab here, and DemoCentral will be located right here, so everyone can access this. And then you can just click on this tab, and it'll bring you straight to DemoCentral. But I'm going to go back to the community here. And then, so what you can do on DemoCentral is look at different dashboard demos. So there's really cool ones that aren't necessarily tied to enterprise data, but just really fun examples. So my favorite one here is this F1 results. So if you're into Formula One, this is a really cool dashboard that one of our solution architects built. And it shows different stats between races. And then you can also see standings. And this is all from the Vegas Grand Prix last year. And then there's this other really cool one about city bikes that I'll show you quickly. And all of these are built, again, in QuickSight. So you can see here, this is city bike data in New York City. And you are able to explore how all of these were built through this analysis feature. So if I was to click this, it's going to bring me into the analysis view of the dashboard that I've selected. So I'm able to see what data exactly was pulled out and see how these visuals were built. I'm also able to format them differently depending if I want to experiment them on my own, and you're not changing the universal view for everybody. This is just, again, a sandbox environment for you to play around and see how different visuals interact with each other. Okay, so let me go back to this home here. And now I'll show you this other section of DemoCentral. So specifically, this portion is going to be related to Amazon Q. We have different industry demos here. So as you can see, this is our generative Q&A, which I'll show in a second, but let's explore one of these dashboards that has Q enabled. Okay, so this one's pretty cool. We have a demo on this on our YouTube channel as well that goes into depth of an end-to-end of Amazon Q and QuickSight. But here we have our IMDB dashboard, which you can explore like any other QuickSight dashboards interactive. You can explore by types of awards, types of genres, and the release year. And then you can also see the score. So you can explore all that here. But then at the top here, what you'll notice is a Q&A. So this isn't exactly what a Q&A looks like in a dashboard environment within QuickSight, but this, for learning purposes, is how you can interact with a Q&A through the DemoCentral platform to see what it's like using Amazon Q. So these are pre-filled questions. If you were using it in a QuickSight dashboard, you could ask your own questions, but here's some that we can explore that's already given to us. So let's say we want to explore, let's look at this one here. So percentage of movies with a rating of more than 7 per region. So what Q is doing in the background here is it's getting data from your Amazon Q visuals and your data table. And then it's going to pull up a multi-visual format of this Q&A. So as you can see here, it's generating these answers that are related to your question. And then it's going to give a narrative summary here of what that answer means. Okay, so you can see here, it's interpreted my question as percent of total unique number of original title. And these are fields within my data set by category where average of IMDb rating per category in original title is more than 7. So we have here this unique number of original films, so this 63,000 number, and then we have the unique number of category, and then again here for average of IMDb ratings. And then we see this visual, which we can expand to explore further. And then let me go ahead and minimize that. We can also add this to a pin board. And your pin board is basically going to be a screen where if you have any specific visuals from your dashboard that you want to reference later, you can add them to your pin board and view them that way. And then here is a chart on movie details. And then we can see here, this narrative summary says there are a total of 72,553 unique categories. Out of these categories, 33,571 have an average IMDB rating greater than 7. The number of unique original titles with an average IMDB rating above 7 is 63,813. Very large. The category with the highest distinct count of movies is null, which that's not very helpful in this scenario. And then additionally, the movie with the highest distinct count is Stan with 1. Okay, so that's interesting. Maybe we'll explore another question here. Maybe we're curious about who won the most awards, who won awards last year. Let's try this one. And then again, in the background, Amazon Q is getting data from our data set and our dashboard. And you can see here, so it understands that last year means 2024. So this was interpreted as name where 1 and release date is 2024, where name is a field, 1 is a field, and release date was a field. And so we can see some summaries here. There's a very basic narrative in 2024. It says interesting, there will be, but there is 1,235 unique names at 1. And then we can see the unique names, how it's been rising and falling in this chart, and then the names of the people here. Okay, so that's pretty cool. And now I'll go ahead and show you just another example from a different dashboard. Let's try. Okay, and this looks like our learning dashboard here, and this is the marketing dashboard that you can find. So I created this a while ago for a demo. If you want to see a polished demo that goes through the Q&A for marketing, you can do that on our YouTube channel as well as our community. And we also did a marketing scenario case as well, which showed you how to do a marketing scenario for any given company. So this is our company called Megawell. It sells 3 different accounts: Biotic Brew, Nutrimart, and Bookish. And then this is the quarterly sales by account. And it also gives you an overview of their campaigns and advertising. So this is what the metrics are down here. There's 3 different objectives by ads. We're driving either traffic, brand awareness, or reach. And then here are some metrics of the engagement for each advertisement, as well as different cost breakdown. Okay. So let's see what questions we have. We can ask sales last year. So let's try that one. And Q is going to be gathering the data again. Oh, let's see. It's looking like a topic wasn't added to this either. But let me go back to this dashboard. Let's try best campaign for reach. Okay, here we go. Okay, so as you can see here, it's giving us different visuals again. So this one is doing total reach by campaign name. So if I want to expand this, it's ranking from highest to lowest. So the highest reach was this abandoned cart discount campaign. And then we can see this lowest one here was existing customers outreach. And then it says a general narrative of the answer. The total reach across all campaigns was 108,963,118. Among the 6 unique campaign names, the campaign titled The Abandoned Cart Discount achieved the highest reach. Okay, cool. And then we can also see this graphic or this visual here, which is going to show reach, total clicks, and total impressions. So that might be of interest to us. You can see here. So this new bookish promotion looks like it was a pretty good campaign, as well as abandoned cart discount. And then an overview of all of the metrics in this chart below. Okay, so now that we have that, I'm gonna go explore one more dashboard and show you what it looks like to do some authoring capabilities. So let's see. I see that Lynn recommended the Pharma dashboard, so let's go ahead and go into that. I think it's this one. All right, and this one we can explore questions here. So I'll just ask one more, or we'll just look at these questions. Let's do this one. Show me weekly trend of number of adverse events for male versus female. Okay, and then between the two unique genders listed in the data set, the total number of distinct adverse event IDs reported for males and females combined is 625. And then December 2023 had the most significant increase in distinct adverse event, which was observed for males with 200% surge from 1 to 3. Okay, and we can see that kind of here. Additionally, adverse event ID, this ID was associated with the highest average age of 87. Okay, cool. So I think this is a pretty good overview of Q&A. I'm going to go back to our dashboards, and I'm going to pick a random one. I think I'm going to do, let's do this. Let's do FIFA World Cup. This one's pretty good. And now we'll show you the authoring capabilities. So if you go into the analysis view, again, I showed this previously, which is where you can edit any of the dashboard before publishing to see like any changes in formatting or just explore. But what we have that's new is this Q function here. So again, this is a sandbox environment, but if you go to Q, you can do what you would be able to do as a Q author. So if I wanted to build a visual with generative AI, I can do so here. I can, again, edit visuals with generative AI, build my own calculations with generative AI, and then set up the Q&A, which is the experience we just saw. So let's just see what it looks like to build a visual. And then let me just check these field names here. Okay. So let's say I want to build a visual for player, country, club, and position. And let's see what it generates. Okay, cool. So it gives me this nice chart, which I can add to the analysis, or alternatively, it gives me the options of which charts it can turn into to generate something else. So let's try this chart here. Maybe I want to do a tree map. And then it's giving me this tree map with the country codes, the club, and the position. So I can add that to my analysis, but I don't want to do that. I'm instead going to ask something else. So let's do something that's going to give us like ideally a bar chart. And then let's do, if anyone has any suggestions in the chat, I will put that into Q. And we can build a visual on whatever people have suggestions on. But I'll start here. So let's do, let's see. We'll do country and skill. Okay, so as you can see here, it's taken the country field name, and because it's a geographical location, it's created this map here, and it took skill, and that's where we'll see, I wish I could expand this here. Let's add this to our analysis. And maybe I can expand this and zoom in so you can see better. And given us a skill with this nice colorful gradient of the highest being this orangey color, and then the lowest being this magenta color. And then we can see which countries are coming from. So that's pretty cool. We can also hover over the countries to see the different skills. Okay, and I see someone suggested a question or a visual to ask. So defending stats for players or countries to identify top defenders. Okay, so let's copy and paste that into Q. And we'll see if it gets all of those words into here to pull up a visual. All right, we can see here that it's interpreted as total defending by name and country. So it looks like that's pretty good. And it's using this 2023 data. So let's add to the analysis and explore further. I'll expand it here. And so we can see the top ones based on the rank that it's given us. So this person here, Ngolo, is the highest. And then Virgil, it looks like, is the second highest. And then we can kind of also see the range. So it goes from 90. And then let's see who's at the bottom. To here, Edward with only 11, and then Jan. Okay, so it looks like it answered the question, and we have now this really nice visual with all these colors. Okay. And then lastly, I'll just show how to build a calculation. Okay, so this is going to be where you build a calculation. So say I have fields in my data set and I don't necessarily know how to format what I'm trying to do. It gives you some of the things that you can do here, but let's say I don't know how to format it and I just want to, in natural language, generate a calculation based on the fields in my data. So I can name the fields here. So I'll say like, let's explore what these fields are. Okay, let's explore. Let's say we have total team, I'll say rank. And based on that, let's say my total team rank I'm describing as the sum of power, skill, and potential. Then I'm going to describe that exactly as I will here, sum of power, skill, and potential. And this is just a very basic example. You can do more complex calculations, but let's just say I want to do that. Then within the correct context, it's going to generate this in the right syntax that I need. So that looks correct to me. And then that was, again, a very basic example. And then I'm going to insert that. It tells me it was AI generated. So this is going to be with the code that I needed. And now I can save this. It's validating. And then what you can see here is now it has my new field that I can then use in different visuals. So the other Amazon Q related learning resources that I want to share is the Amazon QuickSight community, which I did touch on, the learning dashboard, and our YouTube channel. So inside the Amazon community, we have this corner called Amazon Q Corner. I'll put this link in the chat. Let's see if I'm able to. Okay. And this is going to be where all of our Amazon Q related learning resources are housed. And then you can also search the tag inside our community Amazon Q, and it'll pull up all relevant demos, learning resources, and questions that you have related to Amazon Q. So I highly recommend, again, signing up for community if you haven't already, just to check out the Amazon Q&A and also explore all of our resources. We also have this interactive learning dashboard, which is briefly what you saw me use for the marketing spend data, but I'll go ahead and link this in chat as well. Again, it's located in DemoCentral, and this is where you can explore the different learning paths. You can also dive deep into Generative BI for authors and readers if you go through the steps within Learning Dashboard. So it gives you steps on how to do each specific capability, as well as different GIFs accompanying so that you can work hands-on with the DemoCentral dashboard and the Learning Dashboard together. Great. And then lastly is our Amazon Q and QuickSight playlist inside of our YouTube channel. So this is going to house, again, any previous Amazon Q video that we posted during this series, as well as any demo running through a specific capability of Amazon Q in QuickSight. So I will go ahead and again link this in chat for you to explore. There's also a demo page inside of our Amazon Q corner, which is going to have capability demos for industry verticals as well.